Okay, welcome everybody. Mr. Allen here. Welcome to Calculus and Vectors. Just a quick apology right off the top. I don't have my normal headset, so the audio on this isn't probably that great, but hopefully we won't take too long and it won't be too big a deal. So if you got to this point, you've logged in, you've seen this is the basic layout of the course in D2L. If you've taken a course before, you'll know what all these things are, and if you haven't, it probably should be pretty self-evident. Content is basically where your course is. Everything will be in here. All notes, all classwork, any links to videos and so on, everything will be in there. The assignment box here is a drop box. That's why the arrow is indicating down. Basically, in there, you'll only see sort of where to submit things. So right now there's going to be an orientation quiz item to drop in here today, but nothing else set up yet. Quizzes, of course, are where you'll do quizzes, and that's going to be today's activity. I've got this grade set up. Now, I guess as we go in here, I want to point out this Pulse app. It suggests you try the Pulse app. I would suggest you don't, but if you do, be sure that you're still coming on to the regular site. I found last semester some students were missing things because the Pulse app didn't show them, and so they weren't doing quizzes, they weren't seeing some of the assignments and so on. Now, whether that was because they didn't know how to use it very well, I'm not sure, but I know there are some things that don't show up in Pulse that show up on the regular site. So you should be on the regular site most of the time. Because our class is a synchronous class, so you'll actually be online with me most days, it probably isn't as big a deal because of course you'll be able to just chat and ask questions. If I mention something you think I didn't see that, we'll sort of catch those mistakes anyways, or those problems. As far as the grades go, as soon as something is posted, basically you will see it under your grades. So you should be able to always keep track of where you're at in the course. If you see a 0 on something, you'll know you missed it, and you'll contact me quickly and say, "Sir, can I write that now, please?" And I'll usually let you as long as it's very recent. These checkpoint quizzes are just little tiny things that I use to keep you on a decent track. And so they won't necessarily be things you can make up much in the future, but the idea is that they'll give you a chance to sort of see some key points that you should have picked up and then ask questions when you struggle with them. We'll get onto those a little bit more later on. Other things here, this is just a link to your DSB1 mail, so shortcuts, you don't have to go through the board website. I have a survey in here that, again, will be done today, just sort of so that I have some information on you when I need it, what your school is, what your timetable looks like, and so on. And there's a new search content here that's been added. It was new last semester, and it's quite good. So if you're ever kind of trying to review something and you don't know where the information on cosine law was, if you click on that, you'll find any sections that sort of prominently show that. The last box here, or the last tab here, is just the secondary, kind of the general, probably nothing in here that we need for our class, but I leave it on there because students are used to seeing it in other classes. Now, my front layout here, a little bit different maybe than some others. Of course, the updates just tells you that you have, if something has been posted, specifically quizzes pretty much exclusively, and then if timelines are coming up, they might show up there as well. I can't be sure. If I have any announcements sort of on days maybe when we are asynchronous because I'm away, I'll put them in there. But again, I've made the announcements box pretty small. Because you'll be in the room with me most of the time, we don't need that quite as much as some others. And then this is sort of the main area for keeping track of scheduling. Monday, orientation activities. Tuesday, we'll start on some review and so on. And I'll just kind of add those daily so that if you are away, you should be able to pick them up or figure out what you missed and then kind of cover it or ask about it at the very least. The regular Teams meeting link is here. It should work for you, but it won't work for me right now because I'm in as a fake student. So I don't think it'll actually open properly for me. Then again, maybe it will. So it takes you right to the link to where the class is. You can join. And again, that's what will sort of be, that's where we'll be discussing things. That's where I'll be doing lessons and so on most of the time. So for today, orientation activities, there's a quick link here. It brings you to this page and it takes you through just a couple of little things. There's a video here. You probably don't even have to watch it. It just explains how you can download content if you're away. It's pretty simple. If you go to a section, click that arrow, the download button's there. It will pull down that entire section, sort of at whatever level you do that, and all of the content inside of it, including all handouts, all notes, and so on. The only thing it won't do, of course, is download actual videos from online, but the links will be there so you can, at the very least, have them available if you are, when you do hit a Wi-Fi source or so on. So you can sort of take a look at that, although again, there's not much there to see. The survey is here, and again, 5 little questions, just trying to get so that I know kind of what timelines we should be able to expect as far as people showing up to class. Now, this is a math class, so most of your work will be done. This is kind of what's going to be written down here, so you don't necessarily have to follow it too closely. But basically, most of your work will be done on paper, and then you'll scan it and upload it for me. I'm going to be very, very strict on this year because you do need this for university. My suggestion is using Adobe Scan. It's free on the iPad, so you can just pull it down from your catalog. I've got a little video here just kind of showing how to use it, and literally the video is 3 minutes long. Like by the time you've opened Adobe Scan, it starts to scan, and you just move from one page to the next to the next. You get 5 or 8 or 10 or 20 pages all in one file. Save it as a PDF, upload it, and it's done. So that's really the only activity we're going to do today. I'm going to ask that you either pull Adobe Scan into the catalog of your iPad or possibly on your phone. I just have it on my phone. You complete this little quiz. Again, not for marks, it's just kind of a trial quiz to sort of see what an actual quiz in math class can look like. So basically, when you go through it, you'll have fill-in-the-blank questions, but the questions are slightly bigger than that. So you can sort of do them on paper, then put in the answer, and then you submit the quiz. That's sort of a way for me to ensure that you have a kind of a fairly real test situation where you've got a half hour, 5 questions, whatever it is, go. From the time you start it to the time, the timer will run. Once the timer's done, you can't submit any more answers. So it does sort of guarantee that you're doing the quiz or the test in the time frame that I've allotted. Once you're done that, then you can submit your full solutions to the quiz assignment Dropbox. Okay, so here it's, again, pretty straightforward. It's going to open the quiz. I start the quiz. And again, this is not for marks, it's just for practice so that you see kind of what a test can look like. And it says, what's the missing side of a right angle triangle? Hint, Pythagoras. So I sort of pull up my piece of paper, I draw a quick little triangle, do my Pythagorean theorem, and I find that the answer is something like 15.5, I don't know. Then question 2, use the Bedmans rules. So basically just kind of go through the process. There is reason for the questions I've chosen, so I do ask that you sort of do make an attempt at them, a legitimate attempt at them. And then I'm going to actually look at what I get and sort of show you sort of different levels of how we go through some things. I'm babbling now, I apologize. And then again, basically just a couple little questions that are similar to those we'll start with, so a little bit of a challenge. Write out your solution. Once you've got all your answers in, you can sort of see here, the timer's running. Now note that on these quizzes, no matter whether you submit or not, your timer keeps running. So if I try to close this off because I've written down the questions, I thought, well, gee, these are a little harder than I thought. Maybe I can't finish them in 30 minutes. I'll close the quiz and then start it up again. That doesn't work. The timer does continue to run. So I put in my answers, whatever my answers are. I've written them all out on paper, so I know that that's good, and I submit. And then it tells me I only got 1 out of 4. Boo! But because they are full solution questions, of course, I'm not really getting 1 out of 4. Mr. Allen's going to look at them, see what I did right, what I did wrong, give me some feedback. On a quiz like this, it wouldn't be out of 4. It would probably be out of 12 or something, you might get 2 out of 3 on some of the ones where your answer was wrong, but your solutions were better. And then basically you'll go to your assignment box, you'll use your Adobe Scan to scan the picture, you'll come in here and you'll upload the file. It says you have to have a PDF. I think I set it to only allow a single file, so you can't upload 6 or 8 different PDFs. It'll be one file. And then basically when you submit, well, I'll see it and I'll be able to, again, evaluate it, give you feedback and so on. So the reason I want that done today is basically I want you to be sure you're comfortable doing that. Scanning to PDF, uploading a single file. I just want to make sure that it's been established. That's what we're doing this year. There won't be any excuses for why I sent in a bunch of pictures instead, or I emailed you all my answers instead, or I passed them to you through Teams instead. That won't be happening. They'll go into the assignment Dropbox. Now, if you truly are having technology problems, you can email something to me and say, just wanted to guarantee you saw that this was in on time. I will upload it, but I'm having trouble right now. Now, one of the things I'm going to try to do to avoid that, I'm going to try to set all the closing dates to be kind of noon or 3 o'clock, sort of thing, depending on, but not at home. So that basically, if you're at school, you don't have the problem of my Wi-Fi didn't work properly, I couldn't upload it. So we'll sort of set all deadlines to be during school hours. And so if something doesn't work when you're trying to do it the night before at home, you can always come in and have time to upload it in the morning. Okay, so that ended up being much longer than I intended to be, but it sort of covers what I'd like to see today. Basically, if you can get to the point where you can upload a file pretty quickly and efficiently, then you're going to be able to do that whenever we need it done, and that's really what I'm looking for right now. So tomorrow I will be logging in to the regular class at 1:45-ish. Now again, once I see your survey times and see what time you're all available, that we can maybe slide that a little bit. But the plan is 1:45. I'll be in the room with my TDSS students, and then the Teams meeting will be open. Hopefully everybody can jump in shortly thereafter. So we'll talk tomorrow, and good luck today.